Imagine if you could have Apple Carplay or Android Auto in any car. Well, now you can with one of these. Let me show you what this is. So if you're watching the channel, you might just know that I've just bought the Peugeot 508, which is parked in front of the garage. This is my Jag behind me. And that car doesn't have an actual screen, it has no sat-nav in it, and is actually the Bluetooth audio is awful. It keeps disconnecting from my phone, and I really wish that I had Apple CarPlay. So I hunted around and I found that you can using one of these. Now these are a Chinese special. They are available on AliExpress, but they're also available on eBay, which is where I bought mine from. Now what they've sent me here is the wrong unit. We'll talk about that later on, but I'll tell you what options you do get. Well, let's take a look at what this is. So what this is a car multimedia player, but it is totally standalone in the fact that it just plugs into your cigarette lighter and, as shown there, can sit on your dashboard. So the capabilities of this: CarPlay, Android Auto, you can use Siri voice commands, it's got wireless, Bluetooth, and reverse image. What that is a reversing camera, can be interfaced into this as well. So what comes in the box? Normally this is what you get a mount, you get an auxiliary cable, user manual, multimedia player itself, and a cigarette lighter power. So out of these options here, I got two with this. They came with it anyway, which is a little SD card basically, and a backup camera. We'll see that when we have a look inside. You can even get a window mount for these, so you could actually put it into any car that you was using at that time and keep swapping it in and out. I intend to leave this in my Peugeot because I've actually got Apple CarPlay in the Jag. Check out another one of my videos to show how to install that. So let's check out what you get in the box. So here we go, let's have a look. So opening it up, first thing that we come across obviously is the actual screen itself. I mean, look at that, it is absolutely huge. Look, that's my hand there. So this is 10.3 inches across, so it's a massive screen. Now it's got a mounting bracket on the back there, which will take a window mount, but the mount that you get with this, I think you can get them with window mounts, but the one I got was the dashboard mount. We'll have a look at that in a minute. So underneath, get a manual, dashboard mount, a big sticky pad, so you can actually stick this on your dashboard and leave it there permanently, which is what I intend to do. Cigarette lighter adapter. It's got an audio in, so if you wanted to plug in an iPod or something like that from the earphone socket, then you could plug that into the back of this system as well. And lastly, this was an option, as I said. So this is the rear view camera, and this is the camera itself. And this cable is the extension that'll go from the back of your car all the way into the actual head unit itself. Okay, so let's get the unit on the stand and just take the cigarette lighter and let's get it in the car and give it a try. And what I actually did order was where that blank plate is there, you can get these with a built-in reversing camera. They didn't want to supply me one with a reversing camera because I only paid £77 for this. The ones with reversing camera are now at 103. But I complain because I know one little tip for you: when you buy these things off eBay from a Chinese company, I don't think they're set up to accept returns back. So what they try and do is try and persuade you to keep the item, so they'll offer you some money off. So they offered me £15 off because they'd made the mistake, and I said no, I want £30 off please, and they came back and said, well, the best we can do is 20. So I said go on then. So in the end I've got this for £57, so hopefully it's well worth that money. I'm still going to have to buy a dash cam now, but I'll just buy one of them sort of £40–50 dash cams and just leave that in the car as well. So I'm just looking what connections you've got here, and you've got the USB-C, which is going to be the power. You've got an AV in, which I don't know what you're going to plug into there, and then you've got this one here, which I think is the audio in. I think that'll be for one of these. Let's just try that. I should go in there. Yeah, so that's that. But what I can't see is where you put the reversing camera in. So just let me have a look, because there is a couple of covers here. That one looks like it's going to take some sort of plug in it. So let me just get that cover off and see what's inside. Well, that one is nothing. It's just a bit of circuit board you can see there. So that doesn't do what it's supposed to. Let's check the other one. And that again is nothing. All you can do is see inside the unit. So them two are absolutely useless. They're not what I thought they'd be. Okay, so I've just checked the manual, and that small port with AV in is where you put the camera. So, but I'm not sure what kind of connector would go in there, because you get this with the camera. So you're going to have to convert from this to something that can go in there. I'll look into that. Not too worried about that. That's going to be a later job anyway. So let's get the stand on. Let's get it in the car. Let's have a look at it. Right, so here we are in the Peugeot, and it's going to fit nicely on there, I think. So let's have a look. So that would be where I'd mount it in this car. Right, let's put some power to it and let's see what it looks like. First of all, let's take off. Oh yes, very nice. Then obviously this needs to be in a switched fuse, because you don't want it powering up when you're not in the car. And I think the ashtray cigarette lighter is a switch fuse, so we'll put that there. I've got a cloth here. Right, okay. Hopefully you can see that screen. So let's power onto the car. Whoa, look at that. There we go. That's a nice looking screen. Good quality graphics, to be honest. So we need to Apple Carplay. Pair your phone to smart screen using Bluetooth. Oh, look at that! Wow. Wow, I mean that is absolutely fantastic. You can have the multi-screen, which is pretty good. It's a big screen, so I found in the Jag and the Audi using the CarPlay, the screen is quite small, so you get a very, very tiny little map here, as opposed to this is just massive, isn't it? So that's really good. So now what you've got for the audio side, because obviously this has got a built-in speaker, so let's have a look at the music. So yeah, so you've got the audio now coming out of this thing, which ain't very good. So let's go back here, and if you look here, you've got an audio output setting. If you go there, you've got 4 options here. You can use the speaker of the device for the audio, which is rubbish. You can use Bluetooth, so you can have your phone still send the audio for CarPlay through to the Bluetooth on your car. If you don't like that, you can have FM. You can actually output, this will output an FM signal, so you can tune it into a radio station on your car if you've not got Bluetooth, or you can do an auxiliary in. So what I'm going to try the Bluetooth for CarPlay, because my phone was already connected to Bluetooth of this car. So I confirm that. So now if we go back to CarPlay and now we fire that up, there we go. That's now coming through the car itself. That's absolutely brilliant. So let's just try that with the FM. So now this is 106.0. So let's have a look at 106.0.
Themselves. You give people money, they know how to take care.
So I've now tuned this into 106. So let's go back to Apple CarPlay. Go with music. Press play. Yeah, that's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. So yeah, definitely that is we're going to have this on Bluetooth. There we go. So all the audio should come through on the Bluetooth on the car, which is fine. It's exactly what I want. But we get all the Apple CarPlay up here, so that is absolutely fantastic. So as usual with CarPlay, you get all the apps here. So some of the things on here I'm never going to use. So I'm not going to use Zoom, I'm not going to use Telegram, I'm not going to use Skype. So you can actually turn those off. So what you do is you go into CarPlay. So go into settings on your iPhone, search for CarPlay. Now look for, this is the smart screen, so look for that. Customize. Now I can say I don't listen to podcasts. Remove. It's gone. Skype. Screen. Gone. Telegram. Remove. Gone. Zoom. Don't use that. Gone. Now you can also alter the layout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the maps together. So let's take Google Maps. Hit this one here. Bring it up next to Apple Maps. There we go. And now let's take Waze and bring that up again to next to Google Maps. Boom. So I've got them up there now. So that's my top screen, which is what I want. Okay, so look at Apple AirPlay. So this is basically screen mirroring. So to use it, we're going Apple AirPlay here. Use our phone to connect to Wi-Fi, CarLink 1D8EB7. So here we go, 1D8EB7. Password is numbers 1 to 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Join. So I'm going to do the next step, which is to select the smart screen mirroring. Here we go. Oh, look at that. So now if I go YouTube, so absolute rubbish. I thought you'd be able to, it's just screen mirroring, so I thought you'd be able to actually send, you know, to rotate your phone and get a full size screen on there. So that, I don't think I'll be using that, but I'm not that bothered anyway. Okay, so I've changed my mind here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use the auxiliary. So you get this, the auxiliary cable that can plug into an aux in your car. Now I've got an aux in the armrest, and I'll tell you for why. Every time you turn the ignition off and then back on again, because the Bluetooth of your phone isn't connected to the car initially until the car's kind of powered up, the car always drops back to FM radio. So that means every time I'd have to get in, I'm going to have to change the source on here to go around to say choose the auxiliary, choose the Bluetooth input. Now I'm thinking if I use the auxiliary, I can set the car to use the auxiliary, and every time you turn it on, because the car doesn't know when anything's plugged in there or not, it'll always come back on as auxiliary. So let's try that. So what I need to do is I need to go on here, and I'm going to change that to aux. Confirm. So that's now saying auxiliary socket's going to be used. I've plugged this into the auxiliary in the armrest. I can now go onto the car and change this over to the auxiliary input. Now go back into CarPlay. Do that. Yeah. So that's it. So that's good. So now the test is, so if you watch on here when that goes off, so I've got input aux there. So if I now power the car off, so everything goes off. So when I turn the ignition on, this should always go to the aux, which it does. And then when this boots up, CarPlay kicks in. Hopefully it'll just start playing and we get him on. Don't have to do anything. Let's see. So if I press play now. Yes. Great. So I don't have to do anything, so it's all automated. So next thing, and what we're going to do now is we're going to time the power up of this from turning on the ignition to connecting to CarPlay. Let's see what the time is. In fact, if I leave this on play, I'll turn the volume down to stop any content matches. So if I leave that on play, let's see if it comes back on as play. So power off. Okay, so we're going to turn it on and we're going to hit the timer. Right, so power has gone straight to the unit. So let's see how long before we get CarPlay up on the screen. And there we go. So again, yeah, it's coming pause, so you have to press the play button. That's fine, I can do that. Nearly 32 seconds though, but your normal system in a normal car can take 10, 15, 20 seconds to come on. I noticed that in the Jags as well, so I'm happy with that. That's fine, especially what I get out of it. So now all I need to do now is to decide where I'm going to put this. And I'll tell you for why. Because I have this little piece here, which I don't use. And because I'm not really using this now, because I don't need to change the input. It's got a clock on there, but I've got a clock up here. All it's got on there is the temperature. But I can still kind of see around. What I'm looking at is, I might mount this in there, like that. Look at that. Ain't that good? Okay, so I've just used the panel tools just to lift this up. And yes, there is loads of room under there. So I'm pretty sure that we should be able to tuck the wires there to get them right into this corner. And look, there's a gap there. We should get 2 wires. We should then be able to go down this bit of rubber here and we'll get to underneath there. Okay, let me show you where we're at. So we've got the auxiliary and the main power all set up in there. We've popped them out and we've just popped them behind this bit of trim here, and then they've tucked up underneath all the way along there. So I've pushed them in round there, and then what I've done is I've just laid them on that inside edge there of the glove box, which is not affecting the glove box's closing. And then I've got them down to the bottom here. So I just need now to get them from there to this side here. Then we'll come into this trim and we're done. Trim back in, so they've now squashed the sun's coming through. They've now squashed in there, gone behind this piece of trim here. So you can just see them, they've gone there, then we've gone down here, down there, across through the back of the glove box, underneath a panel that was there where I put some of the slack, there wasn't much. And then we've come along, we've come up the side of the glove box, and then we've tucked them in the side here, and you see it there. And then underneath this piece here, all along, to come out there, to then go to the two connectors in there. So all we need to do now is we'll get some isopropyl alcohol, we'll give this a wipe here, and then we'll get it stuck down, get it mounted on there. Okay, isopropyl alcohol. Right, so it's about 2 weeks that I've been running this in the car now, and it's been absolutely superb, I've got to admit. The screen is awesome, just has a little bit of a wobble on, but it's fine, it's still stuck down and that stickiness has lasted. But look at this, this is the YouTube, and this is the screen mirroring using AirPlay. So there it is, look, on the actual phone, and it's mirroring to the screen there. There's a slight audio delay, but it's fine. It's watchable. Of course, I will not be watching these when I'm driving. This is only when I'm stood still waiting for somebody or something like that. So it does work, so the AirPlay part of it does work. The only problem is, to get it into this mode, you do have to disconnect CarPlay and then connect the phone using Wi-Fi to the actual unit. But that's no problem, because you can just do that and then boom, you got it like that. But you will lose the navigation, but as I said, I won't be navigating when this is on, so that's fine. So yeah, this unit's been absolutely superb, and when I said I got £20 back from the company, it was £20 plus VAT, so I got £24 back. So this actually cost me £53. You know what? It's been superb. Much, much better from the rubbish system that I had here with no sat nav. I've now got full Apple CarPlay and full audio through my sound system. So big thumbs up to this unit. And by just taking it off the mount and pulling the wires out, I could move it into any car that I choose. So this is a fully portable Apple CarPlay system. Now, they're not sponsoring this video, I've paid for this, but I would definitely recommend this as a unit for your car. So if you enjoyed this video, if you did, don't forget to subscribe and give me the thumbs up, all helps with the analytics. Till next time, stay safe.